What's up, everyone? Welcome to the FAA podcast. Happy Super Bowl week.
Woo.
Super Bowl 58 coming at you in just 6 days. Seems weird, but yeah, 6 days. Pretty short show today, just recapping Senior Bowl and the Pro Bowl games in Orlando, and then got some news to wrap it up. And we'll also be talking about making fun of ourselves with our Super Bowl picks recap from the beginning of the season that we all stuck with at mid-year, and then how our awards picks worked out or have, and then the picks that we made. I think last Monday, whenever the finalists came out, we picked those. So, anyways, the Senior Bowl on Saturday, excellent game. I have a bunch of guys circled that I was impressed with throughout the week and during the game. South Carolina quarterback Spencer Rattler winning Senior Bowl game MVP, even though his team came out on the losing end. He did drive the American team down for their only score of the game, losing 16-7. Georgia DB Tyke Smith also winning American team MVP, defensive MVP for the American team as well. I was trying to find the national team MVPs, but I could not find them. Anyways, I guess we'll go into the stats first. Joe Milton III led the game in passing. He was on the American squad, 9 of 13, 69.2%, 80 yards, 2 picks. Struggled, good completion percentage, but yeah, Milton was not that great. You could tell he's a true pocket passer because he was not very comfortable on the move. And I don't know if he's going to run the 40 at the combine or not. I would suggest not, because I don't think it's going to be very fast, for one. But yeah, probably the biggest arm in the class. He is just not very mobile. Sam Hartman played almost 3 quarters for the national team as Michael Penix decided not to play about an hour before the game. So it was just Bo Nix for a quarter and then Sam Hartman for the rest of the way. And he was not good. I can tell you that. 7 of 25, 20% completion, 69 yards, had 1 interception, 5 carries for 27 yards. Some miracle, though, he did get the team into scoring 3 field goals. Whether that was the running game or what, but missed on a couple of deep shots. Devontae Walker, wide receiver from UNC, struggled a lot in this one. Bunch of drops for him. But can see where he gets the, he's a vertical threat. Spencer Rattler, I mentioned game MVP here, 404, 100%, 65 yards, touchdown on his only work of the day in the first quarter. Michael Pratt from Tulane, he was on the American side, 4 of 10, 40%, 45 yards and a pick. Bo Nix, mentioned short day for him, just like Rattler. He was really good, though. He also drove the national team down for a touchdown. Their only touchdown of the day, 4 of 5, 80%, 21 yards and a touchdown. And then Carter Bradley on the American team, again, not great quarterback play. 1 of 6, 16.7% for 6 yards. I didn't want to say it. I was saying it during watching Carter Bradley play, but I really think he only got an invite because he went to South Alabama, and that's where South Alabama is in Mobile. So Yeah, it wasn't great for Carter Bradley. TCU running back Imani Bailey led the game in rushing. He was on the American squad. I was super impressed by Imani Bailey in this one. 10 carries, 53 yards, 4 catches for 34 yards on 6 targets. And he made the play of the day. Washington State corner Shao Smith Wade. He had a pick, returned it, and Imani Bailey ran him down, tackled him at the 1-yard line, and then the American defense held to force a 19-yard field goal from Joshua Carty. So just that effort alone, I mean, raises Imani Bailey's draft stock. I thought, anyways. But again, he did have really solid performance on offense as well. 87 total yards on 14 touches there. Cody Schrader from Missouri. He was on the American squad as well. 7 carries for 12 yards. Not a great rushing day for him, just 1.7 yards per carry. But the work that he got in the passing game, 10 targets, caught half of them, 5 for 54 yards. Big target share there for Schrader. Again, because the quarterback play wasn't great, the receivers really didn't have big stats. Marcus Rosemy-Jack Saint for Georgia. He led the game in receiving, just 1 catch for 29-yard touchdown on 3 targets. I was pretty impressed by Luke McCaffrey, the wide receiver from Rice, Christian McCaffrey's younger brother. The Minnesota tight end, Brevin Spann-Ford, catching the touchdown from Bo Nix from 2 yards out on his only target of the day. And then defensively, I know I said Tyke Smith won the American MVP on defense. I mentioned him, though. Washington State's defensive back, Shao Smith Wade. He is my defensive player of the game. 3 tackles, all of them solos, 2 picks, and a pass deflection. And I had to mention also Stanford kicker Joshua Carty. 3 of 4 on his field goals, 75%, 52 long. Hit his only extra point of the day. His counterpart, Will Reichard from Alabama, didn't get a lot of work, made his only extra point for the American squad, and he missed his only field goal, but he cranked it. 57-yard attempt, and he had plenty of distance. He just dinged it off the post. So with the stats being gone there, I'm going to get into the rest of the players that I thought looked really solid. Spencer Rattler, of course, I mentioned, looked really good as the game MVP. Imani Bailey, I already talked about him, TCU running back there. Short stature, 5'7" and 3/8, 208. Ladd McConkey, he only had 1 catch on the day, the Georgia wide receiver, but it was a good one. And once again, his route running is just spectacular. The burst in and out of the breaks. Really great week for him. Brandon Coleman, guard from TCU, again, really solid. Pass pro, run blocking. Guy I was most impressed with, though, that I did not know anything about going into this game, Auburn defensive lineman Marcus Harris. He splashed a lot, made a bunch of plays, couple tackles for loss, and he was in on a lot of the plays. And he's got decent size, little undersized, though, for a D tackle, 6'2", 284. But yeah, I was impressed by Marcus Harris. Nathaniel Watson, the linebacker from Mississippi State, loved him, still love him. Made a good pass deflection breakup. Miami safety James Williams, he had a hard hit. They list him as an inside linebacker. That's actually interesting. Every place that I've seen him he's been a safety. But he is more of a linebacker size, 6'4", 3/8, and 230. Javon Bullard, the safety from Georgia, he had an excellent game. as most of the Bulldogs had really solid weeks. That was it for the American squad. And for the national team, loved what I saw from Bo Nix in his really only drive of the game. Mentioned he only missed one throw, threw a touchdown, and the mobility in the pocket was nice to see. Talked about, Isaiah Davis, the running back from South Dakota State. I love the Jackrabbit players, the Yankee brothers, who I think both played in the East-West game. And then Isaiah Davis playing in this one. This guy's a beast. I love him on any of my teams. 6 foot, 220, Panthers, Eagles. Go get him. Mentioned Luke McCaffrey. He really impressed. He made a spectacular one-handed catch on one of his 2 receptions, and that was cool to see. Devontae Walker, he stood out, like I said, for the wrong reasons. Drop city for him. I think he had 2 or 3 drops. But again, you can see why. Like, he's coveted by teams this year because he's explosive. He just needs to catch the ball. Theo Johnson, tight end from Penn State. He made some good plays. He was the national team tight end of the week and worked pretty well with his teammate there, Brevin Spanford from Minnesota. The big tight ends they got there on the national squad. 6'6", 257 for Johnson, 6'6" and 5'8", 267 for Spanford. Similar numbers there in terms of arm, hand, and wingspan. But yeah, these guys, I really like the tight ends. If you need a tight end, it's pretty solid class. Nothing spectacular after Brock Bowers, but I think there's a lot of gritty guys that you can get in the mid rounds that are more in line guys than what we've seen in the last couple of years. Going to the defense on the national squad, Jalen Harrell, the edge from Michigan. Burst he had on a couple plays I saw from him was really solid. He is 6'3" and a half, 251. So more of an outside linebacker type there. And then Oregon safety Evan Williams made a couple pass breakups. I love Evan Williams. He's a Pittsburgh Steeler. And he's just rough like that. I actually I drafted him in a mock the other day. I was really excited to get him in the, I think, 3rd round or 4th round. Braden Fisk, awesome story. Switched teams right before the game. They had a shortage of defensive linemen on the game roster for the national squad. So he's like, all right, I'll volunteer to switch teams the day of the game. And so he did, and he looked good. It didn't matter that he didn't really know the playbook probably. He looked really solid, 6'3" and 5'8", 295. He's going to be a 4-3 defensive tackle, 3-4 defensive end. And he's another guy I would love. Pittsburgh Steelers, 3-4 D end. Go get him. Cam Hayward could mentor him. It'd be great. The DBs, more DBs here for the national squad that I liked. Shal Smith-Wade, Washington State corner. Excellent day. 2 picks and a pass deflection. 5'10" and 187. A little short on the arms, but good size hands and overall decent wingspan there. His first interception, he made a hell of a play diving for it. And then a lot of the guys didn't realize they could get up and run. They had to get that through their head, that it was NFL rules. And then a couple last ones here. Specialist Joshua Cardi, like you see there, made 3 of his 4 field goal attempts and looked really good. Missed the first one, made the last 3. So that was nice rebound for him. And then Torrey Taylor, the Iowa punter, he had himself a good day. I think he netted 44.8 per punt. So probably not what he's used to as far as I think that was a little shorter than his normal net average, but, not getting a lot of work in this one. And then dropped, I think, 2 inside the 20-yard line. So I was kind of status quo for me on Torrey Taylor. But, yeah, Senior Bowl. Excellent game. And 75 years in the running. I didn't make a slide for it, but the Pro Bowl, because I couldn't find stats. It's annoying. They during the game, they show these stats, and then you can't find the stats anywhere after the game. So I'm like, where do they go? Where do the stats go? Because you have them live. And then I can't find them anywhere. But anyways, the Pro Bowl games. NFC won 64-59 back-to-back years for the NFC. We love to see that.
Love it.
After it was quite a run for the AFC. I think the AFC won 6 in a row or something like that. On the old format. But I was really impressed. I liked it this year. I liked it a lot better than last year. I don't know why. Maybe it was just being the new thing last year. I wasn't really into it. This year I watched everything just because they had a rerun of Thursday's skills competition. So I could watch all the events that I missed, which was nice. And then I watched all yesterday. But yeah, I liked it. The guys were getting into it, and I still don't like the flag football part. I don't think it's that great. But I do like the skills competitions.
Mm-hmm.
You watch any of the Pro Bowl, Jimmy?
I didn't get to watch it this year. I was a little busy, so I missed it. I don't mind the flag football thing. It seems like the players really enjoy it. So I mean, I'll take it as that. And I think it's really the only way to do a Pro Bowl, because the last couple of years of padded Pro Bowl was just bad. I feel like there's a lot of revisionist history when it comes to the Pro Bowl, but even when they were tackling, it was genuinely pretty bad. You could tell they didn't want to get tackled. They didn't want to tackle. Everyone will pull up the Sean Taylor.
I love it. I love the Sean Taylor.
Everyone loves it, but then that's the reason it's very iconic is because it's the only hard tackle in Pro Bowl history.
I think we should go back to the I don't remember what it was called. The bowl where they played the college All-Stars versus the NFL All-Stars.
Oh yeah, I do remember, because the last one of those it ended like a monsoon. It was really funny. It was what was it called? It's just called the College All-Star Game.
Yeah, and it's the NFL versus college.
Not only that, there's Super Bowl champs versus college All-Stars.
Yeah.
Could you imagine
that works? That works for me.
Could you imagine Patrick Mahomes fucking slinging it against these college kids last year, 2 weeks after he wins the Super Bowl? That would have been hilarious to me.
I'm in.
Chandler Jones just absolutely obliterates an offensive line, kills Bo Nix.
It's the welcome to the NFL moment. Yeah, but anyway, I liked it. Your boy Andrew DePaula, he won the NFC. Yes. I forget what it was called. What they called it.
I think it's just the long snap competition.
No, they called it something quippy.
Long snap target thing.
Snapshots.
Snapshots. That's right.
Yeah, that's what they called it. Jason Kelsey got a 5-er. Eric McCoy was absolute trash. He didn't get anything. And then DePaula down by 7. Comes back. Hits, I think he got 9 points. And he had just got in a groove. He missed the first couple, and then like he was slinging those one pointers, and he just kept getting them. But yeah, I liked it. The linemen in the obstacle courses were fun to watch, and then I think one of the most iconic moments was at the end of the obstacle course. They got to push. 2 guys got to push with cart with weights and someone else on it. And Jason Kelsey was the guy that rode the cart on the first one. And he's like yelling at him and like bouncing up and down on it. But yeah, I also love that Ray Lewis was yelling at the refs like the entire day.
Yeah. They got a soundbite of him saying something not so nice.
Yeah.
Like 10 seconds after they had already previously cut his microphone for saying something else. They brought him back, and then he immediately said something.
Yeah. Yeah. Ray Lewis, national treasure at the Pro Bowl every year now. Anyways, UFL news. The schedule release was this morning. The UFL championship game going to be held for the first time ever in St. Louis. I think we should go. Just saying.
I mean, I'm in.
I've never been.
When is it?
It's June something.
Ooh, might be busy studying for the bar exam.
No one needs to take that anyways.
Shh, I do.
The UFL championship is going to be June 15th. Yeah. Yeah, June 15th in St. Louis. The XFL conference champ versus the USFL conference champ. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see if I'm still jobless by then. But for week 1, here's the week 1 schedule. Anyways, March 30th, that is the kickoff. You got the Stallions at the Renegades. So that is the champion versus champion there. And that is at 1 Eastern on Fox. The other game on the 30th, the Battlehawks at the Panthers, 4 o'clock on Fox. On Sunday, March 31st, Easter Sunday, we get a couple games. Both of my teams, my DC Defenders, gang, at the Brahmas at noon Eastern on ESPN, and then my Memphis Showboats at Houston Roughnecks at 3 o'clock on ESPN. And the Showboats today signed former Panthers wide receiver Josh Vann. Played at South Carolina. Pretty solid career there. Got a stint with the Panthers last year. College football news, just one thing to note, coaching carousel-wise, Washington. Why am I blanking on Washington's?
Wildcats? Bobcats.
No, their new head coach.
Oh.
Jed Fish, that's right.
Jed Fish.
He has got his defensive coordinator, hiring Patriots defensive coordinator Steve Belichick. So at least one Belichick has a job this year.
I could do my best to
Burn.
Okay, I'm done.
I think you
Dude,
should.
it's a nut job. Like,
I think you should grow the mullet out like Steve.
Dude, look. The second I saw that video, I was like, I love this man. I want this man on the Vikings stat. We need fucking weird on our
Well,
team.
he is going to be in purple. It's just a little bit further west.
For now.
But yeah, he's going to join Jed Fish there for the Huskies this fall. NFL news. I literally LMAO'd when I saw this coming out of ESPN. Patrick Mahomes Sr.
Oof.
He is in more trouble. He was arrested, I believe, yesterday, maybe a Saturday, I don't know, for DWI in Texas, driving while intoxicated. This is third one. So that's interesting. But he faces up 10 years and faces up to 10 years in prison. It's a third-degree felony in Texas. So, yeah. He previously, I read, got sentenced to 40 days in jail for his last DWI, which he served over multiple weekends. So yeah, hopefully it distracts Patrick Mahomes on Sunday.
Jeez, come on, man. That's mean.
Former Steelers running back Le'Veon Bell. He wants to come back. He 32 years old. He last played in 2021 with the Ravens. And he's only coming back for one team. That's the Pittsburgh Steelers. And unfortunately, Le'Veon, I think it's going to be a no for me, dog. He's been boxing. He's had his boxing career going. I don't know how well it's going because I don't watch boxing, but he should be in shape still, I think. Coaching carousel. The Commanders, they have hired USC senior offensive analyst Cliff Kingsbury as the offensive coordinator. So the Twitter draft people were going crazy when this came out. They're like, no way, Caleb Williams to Washington.
Yeah, I mean, I think that is a big motivation for Washington here. I mean, it's either that or the rumors about Eric Bellamy are true.
Bieniemy.
I always forget how to say his name. Like there was a lot going around that he was very abrasive and not a guy a lot of people liked. So I'm wondering if that might have played a role.
Yeah, when we had the Senior Bowl watch party at my apartment yesterday or Saturday, my mentee, we were talking about Bieniemy, and we were like, he pulled up. Bieniemy has a long rap sheet apparently, like 10 arrests. I don't remember what they all were for, but yeah, he's got gotten into trouble, and yeah, like you said, apparently there's not that many people that actually like him in the NFL. I still think he's a really good coordinator. Again, I've never met the man, but
yeah, you got to be some kind of personality to really run yourself out of the league after being very instrumental for what is now basically the Chiefs dynasty. You got to do something really wrong behind the scenes to make teams really just not want to work with you.
Right. And the thing is, go ahead.
I was going to say, I remember last year, there's a big discussion about why isn't this guy not a head coach? And I really think that played a big role in it. I really think he's not someone people in, the locker room or in the front office want to deal with. And, I think this is just another case of that.
Right, and the thing is, like, regardless of Sam Howell's, matching touchdowns and interceptions, he still got Sam Howell to throw for almost 5,000 yards this year.
Yeah, like Sam Howell actually looked like he took decent steps to becoming a better quarterback. Yeah.
So, yeah. And the Commanders did announce that Bieniemy is not going to be on the staff. So he is free to go anywhere or back to Kansas City.
Honestly, back to Kansas City is the only place I could see himself getting hired. Because at least there he's had success and he knows the people in the locker room and the front office. I really don't see any other team at this point dealing with him.
I think Kirk Cousins wants him badly.
I mean, if it works, like I'll deal with it. I mean, win a Super Bowl, I'll live.
He could go back home though too. Was a standout player, running back at Colorado, and potentially, if I don't know how Dion feels about him, but maybe he goes Coach Prime this year.
That could be interesting.
The Dolphins, they have their defensive coordinator hiring Ravens assistant head coach, D-line coach Anthony Weaver. So the Ravens, dude, they got a lot of moves to make. They got stripped on the defensive side of the ball. So they lose Mike McDonald to the Seahawks, their defensive coordinator. They lose their assistant head coach D-line, Anthony Weaver, to the Dolphins. And then they lose Denard Wilson to the Titans as their defensive coordinator there.
And that doesn't even get to the fact that they have a lot of players that they need to pay and not a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
I could really see the Ravens take a massive step back next year.
Justin Madubuike, Patrick Queen, Geno Stone, the top 3 free agents on defense there.
Patrick Queen, Minnesota. Let's go.
Davian Clowney, also a free agent as well, at the edge rush spot. The Raiders, after getting, I don't know, what do you want to call it, that Cliff Kingsbury did? Josh McDaniels. After the Raiders got Josh McDanieled by Cliff Kingsbury. They pivoted and hired former Bears offense coordinator Luke Getsy as the OC there. So Antonio Pierce does get his offense coordinator, just not the guy that he originally wanted.
I mean, there's a lot to say about Getsy, mostly negative, but I think one thing the Raiders will probably like is he does a really good job with the run game. And if they retain Josh Jacobs, which I assume they will, I mean, their run game will be pretty good.
Even if they don't, they got Zeus, bro. They got a Greek god back there in the back.
They do. So, I mean, I think that's going to be the big positive with Luke Getsy with the Raiders. Just better run game with a team that already has really good running backs. So I think that's probably something they're looking forward to. Being, all right, well, we don't have a QB whisperer allegedly in Cliff Kingsbury, but we have a guy that can keep the ball on the ground. Give us good possessions, give us 5 yards on the ground on first down. And
they got to get a QB anyways. So
yeah, I don't see Jimmy Garoppolo lasting more than at best this year. Hell, they might even buy him out.
The Commanders also getting their defensive coordinator over the weekend. Today, they hired Cowboys secondary coach, pass game coordinator Joe Witt Jr. So Cowboys also, just like the Ravens, getting hit 2 coaches down on the defensive side of the ball. We'll talk about their defensive coordinator options in a second, but Joe Witt, pretty respected guy throughout the league, and Dan Quinn likes him a lot. Super excited. The Panthers, they are retaining defensive coordinator Ejiro Evero, and most of the staff on defense also being retained by new head coach Dave Canales. Really thought that was the best move he could make. Evero had the Panthers as a top 10 unit, top 5 in certain categories. And I think that's an awesome move for Carolina. Seahawks, they hired Michigan special teams coordinator and safeties coach Jay Harbaugh as the special teams coordinator. Originally, most people thought he was going to go to LA with his dad to be the special teams coordinator of the Chargers. Did not work out. Seahawks came in. Mike McDonald gets his STC there in Seattle. So we'll see. I mean, they have solid special teams. Riley Dixon. Is that Seattle's punter? I couldn't remember if he was the Broncos or Seahawks. No, he's the Broncos. Who's the Seahawks punter? Because they have a good one, and I can't remember.
Michael Dixon?
Michael Dixon. I got the wrong Dixon, spelled differently also. But yeah. So they have a really solid Michael Dixon, excellent punter there in Seattle, and then they have Jason Myers as well as kicker. So they got the players. Jay Harbaugh's just got to make it work. Seahawks also hiring former Bills defensive coordinator Leslie Frazier as assistant head coach. I thought that was super awkward that he's like just the assistant head coach. I was like, bro, like, does he not have any other? What else does he do? It's like the Sirianni interview. Like, what do you do though? Like, you're the assistant head coach, Leslie. Like, but what do you do?
We'll see. Do you see this kind of often with young head coach hires? I usually try to give them an experienced right-hand man. And Leslie Frazier has had head coaching experience. He was previously head coach of the Minnesota Vikings before he went off to become a defensive coordinator. So they probably look at this and it's like, okay, we have a very young head coach. Probably need someone that can garner respect from veterans on the team. Because this team has a few, not a ton. This is a young team, but it has a few that will probably just need to buy in. So it's like, all right, Leslie Frazier has shown his worth in Buffalo. Let's go grab him.
Yeah, I can already see Leslie and Gino just chopping it up at practice. But no, yeah, I agree. I think he's going to help game management wise. That's always one of the biggest issues for first-time head coaches is understanding when to call timeouts, when to challenge. And whatnot. So, yeah. The Chargers, they hired former Ravens offense coordinator Greg Roman to a prominent role. Didn't specify what role, but I'm sure he'll have a hand in the offensive game planning, as well as just being the guy for Jim. Once again, it's the John to Jim connection. Got to keep it in the family. The Cowboys defensive coordinator looking to find their replacement for Dan Quinn. They're looking at experience.
Mm-hmm.
They are looking at former Vikings head coach Mike Zimmer and former Commanders head coach Ron Rivera. Neither have been a coordinator for a while.
Yeah.
But experience nonetheless, and two guys that really solid on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah. And hey, Mike Zimmer does have some history with Dallas. He was their defensive coordinator for 6 years.
Well, yeah, he worked in Dallas from 94 to 06, I think.
Yeah, so bringing back a familiar face.
And IR return, the Chiefs getting some good news for the Super Bowl. They designated running back Jerick McKinnon to return from IR. So, of course, that means you got to pound the Jerick McKinnon anytime touchdown prop because I don't know. He's just going to score. He's going to. So here are our awards picks recap.
Ooh, mine's not great.
Yeah, that's the thing. I forget like who picked who.
I picked Pete Carroll. I know. I remember my pick, so I'll be able to definitely pick.
Okay. So, anyways, let's see. I cannot believe Mike McDaniel's not on the damn finalist list. That's BS.
Definitely end of season took him off that list.
Logan and I should have got one on the list at least.
You just made the list.
But yeah, yours is not great. Seahawks did not make the playoffs. And then as far as our guys go, for Thursday's NFL honors, just to recap our picks when the lists came out, you are going with D'Amico Ryans,
Mm-hmm.
and Logan and I going with Dan Campbell.
Mm-hmm. Not bad picks.
Nope. It's no, not gonna happen.
He's gonna win.
No.
He's gonna win.
He should not win. You and Logan picking DeMar Hamlin.
Because he's gonna win.
I picked Tua Tagovailoa. That is who should win based off the 5 finalists, not DeMar Hamlin.
And he's gonna win.
He barely played.
He's gonna win, and it's gonna be super emotional and heartwarming, and then we're all gonna laugh at you.
That's fine. I don't give a shit. No, it's the player that came back the best, which was Tua.
I know. DeMar died.
No, he didn't.
Basically did.
Basically, it's not the same thing. Yep.
I think this is worse.
Offensive Rookie of the Year. We all picked Bryce Young.
Should have went with the number 2 pick.
It was great. I still thought that Bryce might have had a chance.
He might have had a chance if they just didn't fuck around with how the offensive called all year.
Yeah, I mean, like he had some games. The Packers game, bro, the Panthers should have won that for one.
Mm-hmm.
That was like the one game where their defense really didn't play well because Jordan Love was just shredding them. But also, Bryce Young shredded the Packers defense. So that one was tough, but that was the best game he had all season. And hoping he can do that more in year 2 with some upgraded weapons. As far as the guys go for Thursday, though, you were alone in picking Puka Nacua.
Mm-hmm.
And Logan and I, we are going with, I believe, the favorite in CJ Stroud. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Is that Christian Gonzalez?
I picked Christian
Gonzalez. That was yours. And
mine.
You had it.
Dude, I had it. He was burning them, and then he broke his sternum. He was playing so fucking well. I was like, hell yeah, I got this pick, and then he broke his sternum.
Yeah, you were winning for the first like month or so of the season. And then it went downhill with the injury. Mine wasn't even close.
At least I have an excuse.
Nolan Smith, he didn't play as much as I thought he was going to in year 1. I was happy with the time that he did get, though. He was pretty effective, had some good pressures. I don't know how many sacks he got, but I think he played more as the season went on and progressed well. So I'm excited for year 2 of Nolan Smith.
He definitely seems like a Fangio guy too.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, we saw what the outside linebackers did in Miami in his 3-4 defense, dude. Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb just ate until they both got injured. Mm-hmm. That's been an issue with Nolan Smith. He got hurt as well, middle part of the year, so kind of stunted his growth. Logan's the only guy that got one in on the finalists, and he could win it.
Good choice.
And of course, Logan was keeping with his guy, Will Anderson, to win Defensive Rookie of the Year. So maybe we get one right out of all our picks.
We'll see.
You are picking Rams defense tackle Kobe Turner on Thursday.
I like Kobe.
And I am looking at the money for Steelers corner Joey Porter Jr. Give me my $600.
Come on.
I think we can rig it. I think I'll give you 100, Jimmy, if we rig it somehow.
Dude, I got my ways. I know people.
Offensive player of the year.
I think I picked Jamar Chase. I think I was one of the two.
Yeah, I think you and Logan picked Jamar, and I picked Tyreek. So I win because I got a guy on the list.
Yeah.
Jamar got hurt, so that's what killed his candidacy. Yeah. But Jamar still, I believe, went over 1,000, had a good season, just not as good as the other guys on the list. And I should switch my pick for Thursday, but I am also looking at money for CMC winning Offensive Player of the Year.
Nice.
So that's why we all went CMC. Love you, Tyreek, but you didn't get to 2,000. So
yeah, Tyreek's season is kind of like the Dolphins season as a whole. It just kind of dipped off at the end and lost its productivity.
Well, and once he got hurt, I don't think he was the same.
Yeah, then whatever happened to his knee or whatever it was knee or ankle or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once that happened, you could tell his speed was just flushed and it was gone.
Yeah, and he didn't play the same amount of snaps the last couple of games of the regular season. And it really hurt him because the division clinching game there at the end of the year for Buffalo, the last play went to Chase Claypool. Tyreek wasn't even on the field.
Yeah.
So yeah. Defensive player of the year. We hit them all. We got it on this one. Logan, I believe, went with Myles Garrett.
Yeah, that's Logan. I went TJ Watt.
And yeah, you and I went with Watt. Logan is flipping. He's jumping on our bandwagon. We all picked TJ Watt to win it, as he should. 19 sacks this year, led the league. Usually that's who wins it. So yeah, dominant force. And really, I think TJ Watt should have a spot on the comeback player of the year list as well, because he was out for 7-8 games last year with the torn pec.
I honestly think he should be on the MVP ballot. I mean, he played that well.
Yeah, but he didn't get near the record like he did 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and by the way, he did win. He has the record. I don't care. That stupid stat correction against the Ravens, that was BS. He should have the record. And this should be his third defensive play of the year. I think it's only going to be his second. Yeah. Yeah, he's only won it once. This would be his second. But bro, he should have. This should be his third. I will never stop talking about 2020 when freaking Aaron Donald won it, and TJ should have won it in 2020. He should have been back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year, 3 out of 4 this year.
Yeah,
we'll never get over it. No. Let's go to MVP. This one was great. This was fantastic. Logan got it.
Good work.
Logan got it right.
Yep.
You picked Trevor Lawrence.
I thought he'd break out.
I mean, at least they were close to the playoffs. Chargers weren't even close because Herbert got hurt. So that was cool. But yeah, I want to switch my pick, even though I want to switch it to who I want to win it, not who will win it.
Who do you want to win it? CMC?
No.
Oh, come on.
Josh Allen. Josh Allen led the league in touchdowns. I think he should win it.
All right.
But yeah, we all picked Lamar as the most likely to win.
As our revote.
And we didn't do assistant coach of the year. Maybe I should start putting that on the preseason.
That'd be a fun one.
I always forget that award until the end of the year. But for assistant coach of the year, I was the only one that went different. You and Logan both picked Ben Johnson, Lions offensive coordinator Ben Johnson. I went with Texans offensive coordinator Bobby Slowick.
It's kind of funny. We flipped on head coach and an assistant coach with the Texans and Lions. So I went Texans head coach, Lions assistant. You went Lions head coach, Texans assistant.
Well, you also didn't pick CJ Stroud.
Yeah, I know. Thanks for
You're all on the Rams.
Dude, they're rookies, man. I think they have a bright future with a couple of those guys. But anyways,
here was yours.
Hey, I got one.
You're the only guy that got a team in the bowl.
And honestly, I could have picked the Chiefs,
Right.
Yeah.
So I guess you're rooting for the Chiefs because you did not pick the Niners.
Oh, hell no. Absolutely not. I'm going 49ers here. Because I'm the only one with a Super Bowl team in it. So, I mean, I still have bragging rights. So, win or lose, I still have that.
Yeah, it did not work out. 3 out of your final 4 did make the playoffs. Got the Chiefs and the Niners both in the conference championship games. The Niners in the Super Bowl. Bengals not making the playoffs after Burrow went down. They did get close.
Yeah, Burrow stays healthy, they make the playoffs.
This was mine. It was very close. Very, very close on all of them.
I'm really impressed how you kept a straight face.
The New Orleans Saints
made it past the wild card round.
The New Orleans Saints were the most disappointing team. Really thought they had a chance. They should have won the NFC South. And they did. They did what they had to do. Like, they kicked the shit out of the Falcons week 18. It's just my Panthers couldn't help us out and beat the Bucks. Anyways. Yeah, we already talked about the Bengals. Eagles, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what happened down
the end of year collapse is going to be studied.
Yeah. And the Dolphins were the same thing, kind of. Really, theirs
really
just happened
like
later.
Really
theirs happened a little bit later.
Really felt like these teams are just flip side of the same coin. They reached week 13 and just disappeared.
Dude, literally, like mid-season, I was flying so high.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Like, bro, Dolphins, Eagles, they are killing it right now.
Yeah, you're like Dolphins, Eagles. I'm gonna get Tyreek Hill for my offensive player of the year. I got Mike McDaniel, coach of the year. I'm feeling great. And then like week 12, 13 hit, and it was just boom, like a collapse to match 2008's financial collapse, man. It was.
I think we should have a mid-season Super Bowl like the NBA does a mid-season tournament now.
Ooh, yeah. Call that
number 1 seeds in each division. Number 1 seeds in each conference play.
Just have them play on a Wednesday.
Yeah. Well, if they have a bye week scheduled concurrently, why not?
Good luck in that randomly correct.
Yeah, we're gonna play it in South Beach on the sand.
No, you're actually gonna play it in Buenos Aires.
Yeah, I'll be there. Logan's was just as good. The Saints for me were the Chargers for him.
And the Seahawks.
Not so great. The Seahawks. did not make the playoffs either. See, at least I had 2 teams in the playoffs. He only had 1.
Yeah.
I
had 3.
It's fine.
Ironically,
we all picked the Bengals.
Yeah, ironically, it's always the Bengals that just get us. We all picked the Bengals. Fucking blew it.
Yeah, and he had the Cowboys. That worked well.
How about them Cowboys?
He did the reverse jinx though. He picked the Cowboys, and what happens? The Packers beat him in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, he has to be happy about that.
Love to see that. Love the reverse jinx. It almost worked. Except I should have picked the 40. If I would have picked the 49ers in the NFC Championship game,
you should have joined me.
The Lions would have won.
Yeah, but the problem is you're dealing with me, the best brain in the NFL. You know, I knew it was going to happen whether you joined me or not.
I just couldn't pick the 49ers. Anyways, here the last thing we got is who has the edge in the Super Bowl. So on Friday, obviously, we'll do our picks, and then we'll get some X factors to talk about, and we'll pick our MVPs and score as well with the teams that win. But anyways, who has the special teams edge, do we think?
I believe that Kansas City has the special team edge, and my answer is 2 words. Jake Moody. I think just the inefficiency of Jake Moody, both in the regular season and the playoffs, kind of gives the 49ers a lot of pause and a lot of concern. I mean, Harrison Butker is unbelievably reliable. He's been reliable this entire dynastic run of the Kansas City Chiefs. And I mean, their punter is also solid. Both teams' punters are solid, so there's nothing really to complain there. But I think you got Jake Moody. He's a rookie, right? I'm forgetting. Is this his first year? Yeah, this is his first year. He's going in the biggest stage. I mean, he already missed a pretty big field goal in the NFC Championship. He did well the rest of the game. He did miss from there. But I mean, in the Super Bowl, you can't miss one. So I give the edge to the Chiefs here.
I agree. Same reasoning. Tommy Townsend, the punter for the Chiefs, Mitch Wisnowski, punter for 49ers, both solid. But yeah, it comes down to the kicker. Butker is going to make the kick when it matters most. Moody might make the kick. We don't know.
I trust Butker to go 4 for 4. Moody might just go 3 of 4, and that might be the difference. Ooh.
Oh, my transitions didn't work.
No.
Oh, that's stupid. Why does the things not work when it? Whatever. I have literally. There are animations that are supposed to happen.
Just throw in Friday's slide, and we can work with that.
It doesn't, but they don't work. They don't. I don't know how to draw on this.
Oh,
I don't know how. I don't know.
All right. Well, that happens.
Anyways, coaching. I am going with the Chiefs as well. Andy Reid, head coach, versus Kyle Shanahan. That is pretty even. Andy Reid obviously has much more experience. But I think I am going with the Chiefs for the rest of the coaching staff wise. I can't remember who their OC.
Nagy.
Matt Nagy's the OC. Okay. But anyways, he's not why. it's Spags. Spags is the biggest reason why I'm going with the Chiefs coaching wise. I like him over Steve Wilkes, the defensive coordinator for San Fran. So yeah, that's why I'm going with him, because the Spags has done a masterful job with that young defense this year.
Yeah, I think I'll give this is probably the closest one of these 5 here to me, but I got to go 49ers here. I think what always impresses me is a team that's able to make good halftime adjustments, and that usually comes from coaching. And you look at the 2 playoff games 49ers have played against the Packers and the Lions, especially the Lions game. Like they came out really, really flat and were clearly outplayed in the first half. But the second half, sure, a lot of things went the 49ers away, but I really think coaching adjustments really put them in that spot. It was, I mean, they gave up one touchdown in the second half, and that's when they were playing just prevent defense. I mean, and offensively in the second half, they were far more connected, far more coherent. It was a far better team that second half. So I'm going to give this to the 49ers, but I can't, say that and not just give a ton of credit to the Chiefs. I mean, especially Spagnola. I mean, in Spags, we trust. They literally are making a T-shirt of how good this guy is. And, I mean, the Chiefs have just dominated teams in these playoffs, especially on the defensive side. But I got to go with the 49ers here. I think the ability to adjust is such a necessity, and especially in the Super Bowl. And in the playoffs, the 49ers have just shown it, and I give it to them.
Yeah, 49ers actually don't have an offense coordinator.
Yeah, it is Shanahan. That is their guy.
Roster. Yeah, they list Chris Forrester, their run game coordinator / offensive line coach, up there with the other coordinators, Wilkes and their special teams coordinator. All right, defense. Who are you going with defense wise?
You got to go Chiefs. I mean, they shut down the Ravens like they were nothing, like legit nothing. I mean, I think what they lack in natural talent, Spags has just created a system that works. It's unbelievable. When I think talent, I look at the 49ers defensive talent. I think they're better. I mean, you look at Nick Bosa and Warner, and I mean, that's a team of just fantastic players. But man, Spags has just got some guys there, and he just seems to always make the right play call for his defense. So I got to go Chiefs here. I think, to me, I mentioned this, I think, a week or so ago. Defense is all about schematics and how the defensive coordinator runs it. And there's no better defensive coordinator right now in the league than Spags.
Yeah, I'm flipping. I talked about Spags on the coaching side, but as far as defense goes, players wise, I'm going with the 49ers. I think overall they just have the better players. Defensive line, I think it's easy. Chase Young, Eric Armstead, Javon Hargrave, Nick Bosa. They got Javon Kinlaw, Randy Gregory as backups as well.
It's the deepest defensive line I've ever seen.
And then, you go to the next level. Dre Greenlaw, Fred Warner, all great. Javarius Ward locking down the wide receiver one there. I think the secondary is definitely the weakest part of the 49ers defense, but they have guys that serve good roles. Isaiah Oliver and Ambry Thomas, some of the best nickel and dime defensive backs that you'll see. Chiefs are close, but I still think they're a little bit away. Like I said, George Karlaftis has been solid, but they really don't have an opposite guy. Chris Jones, excellent, but not enough. And then Willie Gay and Nick Bolton, they're not Greenlaw and Warner there. And the secondary, I think, is actually better than the Niners. L'Jarius Sneed, Trent McDuffie, Justin Reed, and Mike Edwards. But, I'm going with the 49ers defensive-wise. Playmakers, I'm also going with the 49ers. Easily. CMC, the Chiefs don't have a back like CMC. Isaiah Pacheco, love him. But even him combined with CEH, no. Christian McCaffrey, Samuel Ayuk, the wide receivers, the Chiefs, we talked about it countless times. They don't have the wide receivers that San Fran does. Rashee Rice has had an excellent rookie year, but he's still just that, a rookie. We'll see how he plays in the big game. And then tight end, it's even, I think. Travis Kelce's a little bit ahead of Kittle, but those are two of the top three tight ends in the league. So I'm going with 49ers.
Yeah, and I gotta agree there. I mean, you just listed them all off. And I mean, not only that, the one name you did miss, Mr. catches the most absurd passes every single game to give the 49ers momentum. Juwan Jennings. I mean, you need a deep third down pass or a random, like, insane thrown ball caught, a wild hospital pass, throw it to Jennings because that guy's going to catch it. He's just always going to catch it. And that's your third wide receiver. Jennings could be a number 2 wide receiver on the Chiefs, maybe even number 1, if we're being quite honest with ourselves. So, I mean, again, there's no, like, I think this is the biggest landslide victory in the, like, department of who's better. I mean, those 49ers playmakers are absurd, like, really absurd. Like, I think the biggest thing that the Chiefs are going to have to contend with is just, like, who do we put our number 2 corner on? Do we put it on Ayuk or Debo? And are we going to trust our number 3 corner / safety / maybe even a linebacker on Juwan Jennings? Then who's going to get Kittle? I mean, holy crap. How are you going to deal with these playmakers? So, yeah, I got to give it to 49ers. The Chiefs, to me, their playmaker is Travis Kelce, and he has been this entire playoffs. He's had an amazing playoff run. But he is really masking a lot of deficiencies in the offensive playmaking core of the Chiefs. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then they got CMC coming out of the backfield.
Oh, my gosh.
Defense
I didn't even mention him.
Top 2. Quarterback, easy.
Yeah, it's
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. He overcomes the deficit of playmakers. Yeah.
Yeah, like, Brock Purdy has not played that great in the playoffs. He's played well when he's needed to, which is something to say, but the interceptions, lack thereof, that should have been interceptions, but for DBs dropping the ball, probably 4 or 5 this postseason alone. So, and you can't make that mistake against the Chiefs defense. So we'll see if it happens or not. I hope not, but yeah, Patrick Mahomes easy at the quarterback to pick.
Yeah, probably just as easy as the playmaker choice.
Yeah. So I hope you kept track of yours. I have 3-2 Chiefs.
I had 49ers had special team I had 3-2 49ers. Because I had special team coaches and playmakers 49ers, defense and quarterback the Chiefs.
I thought you went Chiefs special teams.
Oh, I did. Oh, wait, hold on. Yeah, okay, 3-2 Chiefs. I forgot about that. Yeah, so special teams, defense, quarterback Chiefs, coaches, playmakers 49ers.
Yeah, I went special teams, coaches, quarterback Chiefs, defense, playmakers 49ers. Mm-hmm. Again, I had checks ready. They just did not show up. Because can't do animations, unfortunately. But yeah, next week it'll all be over. It will all be over. Off season week 1, will I get your Super Bowl 58 recap? And I will still be here. Yeah, we'll have to see what happens the next week after that. I'm not sure what I'm going to do show wise. While I'm in Indianapolis and New Orleans. But anyways, next Monday we'll get your Super Bowl 58 recap, and that will be a later show, I think. Mm-hmm. Jimmy not going to be able to make it, but my mentee Ben will be on. And we'll get your Super Bowl recap, talk about the big game, what we think for both teams in the offseason, and then get all your news, of course, going on throughout the league. And then we got a 3-month or a month and a half hiatus until the UFL starts Easter weekend.
Yeah, get ready for that content because, boy, are we going to be making shit up.
Oh, well, it's going to be great because you know what? Next Sunday. No, not next Sunday because that's Super Bowl. But anyways, the Sunday after that, we'll start mock draft Mondays, and we'll drop those on Monday, the day of the show. So that'll be fun. But don't forget to follow us on all our social media at FAA Podcast, Instagram and X. FAA_bets on X as well. FAApodcast.com is our website. Check us out here on YouTube, Facebook, X, and Instagram, as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. And also, if you didn't see, go to my personal page on anywhere, Instagram or X, and sponsor a mileage a mileage box for helping out my guy Troy Hermo, miles for #Hermo Strong. So fighting cancer for him, helping try to support him as much as we can. So $1 per mile.
It's a good cause, guys. I definitely get it.
All right. Thank y'all, and we'll see y'all back on Football Friday.